So, hello everyone. I hope you can all hear me okay. My name is Spencer Allingham, and I'm the Regional Vice President at Condusiv for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And I'm delighted to introduce you to Undelete 11, our continuous file protection software for Windows. Now, if you have any questions as we go through, please do feel free to use the Q&A box in the GoToMeeting window. I'll do my very best to answer all of them at the end. As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So please don't be shy, put your questions in there and I will do my best to answer them. Now, as I'm sure you all know, losing a file can be quite devastating. Well, at Condusiv, we understand. And that's why we created Undelete, which is the world's leading recycle bin for file servers. With Undelete, you can recover lost or even saved over files in seconds, even if the files were deleted over the network. It's fast, easy, and a convenient first line of defense, allowing you and your users to get back to more productive work more quickly. You no longer need to spend ages searching through backups or tell a user they need to redo their work. In fact, we often hear from customers how Undelete saved the day again. By the way, everyone who's attending today will receive a full free copy of Undelete Professional. That's our way of saying thank you for your time today. Trialware is also available if you want to try Undelete on more machines or on Windows servers. But that is your copy to keep running on your own workstation or laptop. Now, some of you may be thinking, goodness, I've never heard of Condusiv. Who are they? Well, we're actually a 38-year-old software company. I think the 12th oldest software company in the world that's still going strong today. Some of our software is OEM'd by some of the biggest players in the IT industry, and I'm sure you recognize the likes of Samsung, HP, Fujitsu, and so on. We've actually sold over 100 million software licenses worldwide and have a 90% footprint in the Fortune 500. Our Undelete software has also itself been available for many years and is used by thousands of organizations all around the world, from small companies to large enterprises, universities, government agencies, and so on. So anyway, that's enough about us. Let's talk a bit about why you might want to consider taking a closer look at Undelete 11. Now, personally, I've been with Condusiv for many years, probably too many years to count. But honestly, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've been on a call with an Undelete customer and heard them say something like, Undelete really saved my backside, or Undelete saved the day. There are a number of situations that can occur that if you have Undelete proactively installed, well, it can make a whole world of difference. A user might accidentally delete a file and they don't remember exactly what the file name was or what folder it was in, or they overwrote a file and now need the earlier version back. And typically, when a user needs a file back, they probably need it back right now. So we hear a lot from folks who found us from searching the internet in a bit of a panic because they can't get a deleted file recovered, especially after what we call a zero-day delete, which is where a file was created and deleted since the last backup or snapshot was taken. And I'll talk about how we can help with that in just a minute. Now, please don't get me wrong. Undelete is not designed to replace a good backup. You should still have good backups as part of your disaster recovery plan, and you should test their effectiveness on a regular schedule. I don't need to tell you guys that. Undelete is designed to be your first go-to solution before having to rely on restoring from backup. It offers continuous data protection, and whereas backups are great for restoring entire data sets or entire volumes, Undelete is so much faster and more convenient to restore a single file that got deleted, or a group of files or folders, in just a few clicks of the mouse. Just like the Windows recycle bin. It really is easy, and you can recover earlier versions and even see who deleted a file. Now, recovering a file from backup can be quite time-consuming, especially when the user can't tell you enough information about the file that's been lost, such as its file name, where it was deleted from, when it was deleted, and so on. And I mentioned 0-day deletions earlier, where a file was created and deleted or overwritten since the last backup was taken and therefore isn't recoverable because it wasn't saved by the backup yet. Snapshots can have the same problem, depending on the frequency, of course, that they're scheduled to occur. They certainly help, but they don't fully eliminate the 0-day deletion risk and can be costly in terms of storage requirements. Now, you may be thinking, well, actually, we have the Windows recycle bin. Why would we need Undelete? Well, the short answer is that the Windows recycle bin doesn't capture files deleted across the network. It also won't work with files deleted from the command prompt or from within some applications. The Windows recycle bin is certainly better than nothing, but it falls short of being something that you can truly rely on. So let's take a closer look at that. Let me show you what happens when a file is deleted from a network share from a user's workstation or laptop. On the right is a file that's being shared on the network by a file server, and on the left is a user machine accessing that network shared folder and viewing the file. If the user deletes the file from the network share, it's actually deleted. It's not in the Windows recycle bin on the file server or on the user's local machine. That file is, for all intents and purposes, gone. To get that file back, you'd have to stop what you're doing as an administrator and try and find it on a backup, which can be a time-consuming nuisance. It interrupts your day. The user can't work until he gets his file back, and honestly, it can be a disruption for both of you, really. And what if this was a 0-day delete? No one wants to tell a user they need to redo their work, but how else could you get the data back? In the past, when I've been asked to sum up Undelete, I've said, well, it's a bit like the Windows recycle bin on steroids, or it's a bit like the old salvage file function, for those of you like me who are old enough to remember Novell. Anyone else been bashing keyboards for that long, or is it just me? Undelete replaces the Windows recycle bin with an enhanced recovery bin that offers complete file protection by being able to capture all file deletions regardless of how they occur. And that includes files deleted across the network, application file deletions, and even from the command prompt or from within PowerShell. Undelete has file versioning. And to give you an example of that, we have a customer who is a major clothing retailer, and they design all their own pieces. Their designers are constantly making changes to files and saving them, and often want to go back to an earlier version and undo a design change. Well, Undelete 11 lets them do that because it allows for recovery of intermediate iterations of files. As another example, picture that high-level, important exec in your organization who's been working on an important PowerPoint presentation or number crunching in a complex Excel spreadsheet for a big presentation they have coming up. And suddenly they panic because they accidentally saved over the data that they needed. Well, here's where you get to be the hero and come in and get those earlier versions back for them. And if you have some users who like to save directly to their local machines, even if you've told them that they shouldn't and they should be using a network file share, well, you can even get Undelete Professional so that they can do that for themselves. In Undelete 11, file versioning has been expanded over the previous version to include custom file types, in addition to things like Microsoft Office files, such as AutoCAD, Photoshop files, PDFs, and more. In fact, you can add the file types from the applications you use the most and ensure that they have the added file versioning protection too. Another enhancement is that Undelete 11 now sports a hopefully very familiar Windows File Explorer type interface, which makes finding deleted files easy for instant recovery. This includes drag and drop recovery of deleted files back to local volumes or folders. The Undelete interface also enables the system administrator to monitor file deletions, providing forensic information so that the sysadmin can easily see who deleted what and when. Now, this last point is also an important one. Undelete has the capability to find those unknown deleted files with the extensive search feature. Even if you have the specifics of the file, well, that's great. You can search by name, location, date, owner, or by who deleted the file. But in case the user doesn't know the name of the file, or you don't have all of those other specifics, you can use the wildcard search feature and search by just part of the file name, or even by a date range. To give you an idea of just how quick and easy and convenient Undelete is, let's take another look at that network file deletion scenario that I showed you earlier. So first, the user opens the network share and deletes a bunch of files from the server. Remember that these files don't go into the Windows recycle bin on the user's machine or on the file server. They are actually deleted. And this is the point at which your day could become disrupted. But because Undelete's here to save the day, you can open it and see all of the files that were just deleted. They've been captured by Undelete and can now be recovered. Simply select Recover and choose where you want to restore them back to. In this case, we're just putting them right back where they were deleted from, and bam, they're all back. Easy as pie. No going to backups, just simply get back on with your day. Let me quickly show you some of the additional features that are in Undelete 11. Emergency Undelete is definitely worth a mention. While it's preferable to have Undelete proactively installed before a deletion takes place, even if it isn't, there's still a good chance you can recover files that were deleted before you got your hands on the Undelete software. And you'd be surprised how often this functionality is searched for on the internet. Undelete Server also comes with an Undelete client component, which you can distribute to key users, enabling them to undelete the files that they have access rights to from a server with Undelete installed. Now, if you have a situation where you actually want to delete a file and make sure that it's almost impossible to recover, you can use the wipe free space or secure delete functions. Most sysadmins know that when a file is deleted in Windows, the location of the data is marked as available for reuse, but that the actual file data is still there until it gets overwritten, which may not occur for some time. To make sure that the data is really gone and not easily recoverable, simply securely delete it. Undelete will overwrite the file data with several different character stamps, which is a technique developed by the American NSA and Department of Defense. Undelete 11 is now cloud ready. You can synchronize the recovery bin with OneDrive or one of the other popular cloud storage services. And you can easily configure exclusion or inclusion lists to have Undelete only capture the file data that you really want to protect. The default exclusion list includes things like temporary files to prevent the recovery bin from filling up with files that you probably would never really want to recover. But the point is, you can always modify these lists to suit your needs. Recovery bin management is also available. By default, it automatically manages the size of the recovery bin so that you don't have to. But this is also very configurable. You can have it purge older files when the recovery bin starts getting full to make room for files that were more recently deleted, or you can purge files automatically that are older than a certain number of days, or retain files for a specific period of time, and so on. You can have a dedicated recovery bin for all volumes in one place, or you can have a separate one on each drive. To be honest, there's probably too many options to go into here in depth, but you get the idea. It's very, very configurable. And lastly, I'll touch on the remote installation and management. The Undelete Server Edition comes with the ability to remotely install or uninstall across the network to other Windows servers or users' workstations and laptops. There are no reboots required. It's completely non-disruptive, but very convenient as a method of deployment. So here's a closer look at the Undelete 11 interface. I mentioned earlier that it's been intentionally designed to look and feel like the tabbed ribbon interface in Windows File Explorer that you and your users are already used to. And just to highlight a couple of those saved the day experiences other users have had, we've got a few success stories highlighted here for you. PC Test found the file versioning very helpful and said that Undelete was much better and faster than retrieving from backup. And Maricopa County also finds it faster than going to backup, and Money Movers sums it up beautifully, I think, by simply stating that Undelete works. I won't go through all of these as well, but must mention that Maricopa County Clerk of the Superior Court said that Undelete's ability to recover files for them had been crucial, and that the ability to provide customer service with immediate results for them was great. Now, Undelete 11 server is of course installed on Windows servers. So that's Windows Server 2008 R2 and later. It doesn't matter if they're physical machines, virtual machines running in VMware or Hyper-V or something else, or even in the cloud. The desktop client is installed on users' laptops, workstations, and virtual machines running a client OS, and allows users to recover files that they have the NTFS rights to access from Windows servers that have Undelete installed. And Undelete Professional also does that, but will in addition protect a user's locally stored files with their own recovery bin. Now, for existing customers under active maintenance, you can download your Undelete 11 upgrade right now. It's available by logging into your customer portal at condusiv.com/account. You can install Undelete 11 right over the existing previous version of Undelete 10. No reboot is required for that, completely non-disruptive. And for those of you who have never tried Undelete, you can get a trial copy from our website at undelete.com. You can also purchase the software online there too, and everyone who's attending today will receive a full free copy of Undelete Professional that you can install on your own workstation or laptop. That's yours to keep, and as mentioned at the beginning, is our way of saying thank you for your time today. The server version of the software costs about £530 or about 600 in euros, and it includes 10 client licenses. The professional version is about £60 or about 69 in euros, and there are discounts available for home, government or academic use, and we also offer volume license discounts if you need to buy a larger number of licenses. Just let us know and we can send you an indicative quotation that includes all relevant discounts for you. And of course, we're very happy to work with your chosen reseller or channel partner. We do like, wherever possible, to take a channel first approach. So introduce it to them if they don't already know about it. We'll be very happy to work with them. Don't worry about trying to copy all of these links down right now. A copy of this presentation will be sent out to you all, so you'll get a copy of this slide very shortly. If you need the software urgently though, go to undelete.com and you'll be able to find everything you need from them. So I hope this has been interesting. Let's see if any questions have come through, and I'll do my best to answer them. Now let's have a look here. Yeah, we've got a couple. So Simon says, does it require a reboot to install? Well, we kind of covered that, Simon, but no, I think you put that in before I mentioned it. No reboots are required to install the software for the first time, whether that's the trialware or the full version. You just simply run the installer. It takes about 60 seconds to install and you're up and running. No reboots, no disruption. The same if you're upgrading from the previous version. You just do an in-place upgrade, no reboots required. So I hope that answers that. So Rajesh says, can you restore files that have been deleted from the recovery bin? Actually, yes, you can. As long as they haven't been securely deleted or you don't have the wipe free space option enabled, you can recover files even if they have been deleted from the recovery bin. Right. So Sarah says, on upgrades from the previous version, does it save the previous files in the recovery bin? Great question. Yes, it does. And it will also save your previous configuration settings. So if you had Undelete 10 installed and you configured it in a particular way, that configuration will be maintained for you. It's a very quick, simple upgrade path. You just run the installer and within a minute you're up and running with a new version, set up exactly the same way as you had the old version. So I hope that answers that. Brian says, does this work on ReFS? Great question. So ReFS, for those who might not know, is an alternative file system to NTFS that is available on Windows machines. To be honest, most people are using still the NTFS file system, and Undelete works with NTFS and FAT32 and other FAT derivatives for people that want to recover files from things like the little SD-RAM cards that you put in cameras and mobile phones and things like that. It doesn't currently work with ReFS, but frankly, if we see a larger demand for it, then we'll be more than happy to look at that. So I hope that answers that. It might not be the answer that you were hoping for, but that is the genuine, honest answer. Now, we've got a question here from Oliver who says, does saving deleted files cause overhead or any additional overhead? Great question again. To be honest, putting a file in our recovery bin uses pretty much the same resources as simply deleting a file, which is almost negligible. It's a very small amount of resource. So our software is not resource intensive. You're not going to notice it's there chewing up system resource. But what you do get is the added benefit of having all deletions captured, regardless of how they happen. Whether it's from the command prompt, PowerShell, from within applications, from across the network. And of course, it's working all of the time. So if you have that 0-day delete issue, your file is safe. You can get it back. If you get files which have the versioning enabled and get overwritten, well, you can easily restore, earlier versions. So yeah, there's really very little additional overhead, if any at all. Certainly nothing that you would ever notice. So I hope that answers that. I think that is all the questions that I've seen come through so far. So hopefully I've done a reasonable job of explaining this. Please do feel free to check it out. Grab the trialware if you want to see how powerful it is on Windows servers, especially things like file servers. Use the free copy that we're going to send you on your own machines to have a play with it and see just how easy and convenient it is. And if we can be of any help, you're more than welcome to get in touch. If you go to the Condusiv website at condusiv.com, there's an About Us page, and you can also get it from velocity.com as well, of course. Undelete.com. There's a Contact Us page which has all of the contact details for your particular region. And mine is EMEA, Europe, Middle East and Africa. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer personally, send them through to me using the EMEA contact details, and I'll be very happy to hear from you. So I hope that has been helpful, genuinely, and would love to hear from you. Yeah, let me know. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Have a very good rest of day. Take care. Cheers.